Hello, this is Carlos from the Church of Christ channel. Please subscribe. So today I'm going to do another healing conversation. And this is going to be woman thou art loosed from thine infirmity. Woman thou art loosed from thine infirmity. You know, a lot of times you see that on the T.D. Jakes movie. Woman thou art loosed. But anyway, this is a healing conversation. So y'all know what I'm working on, okay? So I don't really have to keep repeating that. But anyway, so this is Luke chapter 13, okay? We're going to start at verses 10. In this healing conversation, I will also use Yeshua, okay? And he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath. And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity for 18 years. So she had this infirmity for 18 whole years, okay? And was bent over. So she had, her back was kind of contorted and she was bent over, okay? And could in no way lift up herself. So she couldn't even lift herself up. She was bent over, walking. And when Yahshua saw her, he called to her and said to her, "Woman, here we are, you are loosed from your infirmity." Okay? And he laid his hand on her, and immediately she was made straight and glorified God. Now look at what the ruler of the synagogue did. And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation. He was mad because that Yahshua had healed on the Sabbath day, and said to the people, "There are 6 days in which men ought to work. In them therefore come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day." And the Lord answered him and said, "You hypocrite, does not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or his donkey from the stall and lead him away to watering? And ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound, lo, these 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath day?" Okay? And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed, and the people rejoiced for all the glorious things that were done by him. All right? Now let's stop right there. So here we have a case of a woman who was bent over. She had this infirmity for 18 years. Bent over, couldn't even lift herself up. Okay? And Yahshua saw her and told her, "Woman, be loose from thine infirmity." And when she straightened up, she glorified God. But then you had the synagogue leaders. And the ruler of the synagogue was upset because Yahshua healed on the Sabbath day. And he pointed out that there were 6 days in which men ought to work. And then he says, not on the Sabbath day. But what did Yahshua say? Yahshua said, "Thou hypocrite." He called him a hypocrite because they did certain things during the Sabbath day that constituted work. Okay? So, needless to say, any affliction that you're going through, you can always count on God and Yahshua. Okay? Sometimes our infirmities happen for a long period of time because they said this woman was, according to Yahshua, was a daughter of Abraham. Okay? Was a daughter of Abraham. It says it right here. daughter of Abraham, and said that Satan had bound her lo these 18 years. And so Yahshua was also telling the ruler of the synagogue, like, hey, y'all have more care for an animal than you do people. And Satan had her bound these 18 years with affliction. And so, why not would her be loosed on the Sabbath? Why not be loosed, So, anything that we go through, and I think this helps me, sometimes, we go through a lot of affliction, even as a believer, okay? Even as a believer, we go through a lot of affliction, okay? And if, we're not careful and we don't persist and we fold to the pressure, there are times that people have lost their faith, okay? But God sees you. And that's why I always say stick with God, because God will see you through. It didn't say that this woman was loosed automatically. She went through this 18 whole years. Right? So, remember that, Yahshua is here not only for our salvation, but for our healing. And even though some of us may not go through what this woman has went through specifically for her situation, all of us have some infirmity that we're trying to be loose from. Okay, but let Yahshua, let the Holy Spirit, let God work through your situation. Okay? And this is Carlos from the Church of Christ channel, signing off.